welcome to my channel where I'm going to today talk about books. Today I'm going to talk about books because reading is a big part of my life. A lot of things that I realize, I feel come from fictional worlds. So let's get deep dive into one of my favorite books of all time. The book that I'm talking about is this one, Daisy Jones and the Six. Yeah, this one right here. And today we're going to discuss this book like a book club meeting, but basically with myself. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get started. And before that, tell me how cool the intro is, okay? So for starters, we have our main character named Daisy. Okay, so what happens is Daisy is a girl and she is the daughter of these two really famous Hollywood actors and actresses. And like she really doesn't she's not cared enough by her parents. Like her parents are neglecting her, they do not like spend time with her, and she's really a neglected child. So then she goes to school, but she is not a good student and she literally drops out of school, and her parents literally doesn't care about her. And then she literally becomes a groupie. She goes to these different types of bands and she just like she discovers parties and like all, because she used to live in LA with the Hollywood area, so she used to go to all those parties. Like when she was 14, she started this. She lost her virginity and everything like that, and she started hanging out with older men, older drummers from the bands in Hollywood, and she literally became a groupie. So one day she was sleeping with this man, and the man was a famous Hollywood singer, and he was writing a song. And okay, let me read out the quote from the book. I really like that one, that part. So yeah, the thing that she said about her school, let me read out from the book. High school was not easy for me. I knew that to get an A, you had to do what you were told. But I also knew that a lot of what we were being told was bullshit. I remember once I was assigned an essay on how Columbus discovered America. So I wrote a paper how Columbus did not discover America because he didn't. Then I got an F. And after that she decided to leave high school. And I remember this moment from the book. Let me tell you about that. Okay, so let me find that part. Uh, okay. Yeah, probably like here. She stopped living at her home, okay, and let me just tell you the story. And she stopped living at her house. She went to her friend's house to live there, and one day she was at the house to do something, and her father asked her that, did you break the coffee maker this morning? Like, did you break the coffee maker? And she was like, Dad, I don't even live here. So that's the amount of neglect she got as a child. And yeah, we will see the result of neglect in the later parts of the book. So okay, so we have Daisy, this character. Yeah, this one, yeah. I was living with Simon for 2 weeks before I went home to get more clothes. My dad said, did you break the coffee maker this morning? I said, Dad, I don't even live here. So this is how much she was neglected as a child. And then what happened was, Daisy and one of the Hollywood producers. The Hollywood producer was writing a song, and Daisy told that this line would really feel really good in this song. Like you could write it like this, and then when he wrote it like that, the song went viral. Like the song was crazy. It was topping the billboards and everything else. So yeah, let me tell you. Yeah, when he woke up, I said her chorus should be more like big eyes, big soul, big heart, no control. But all she got to give is tiny love. What? Grabbed a pen and paper and he said, say that again? I said it was just an example, write your own goddamn song. Teeny Love was the Breeze biggest hit, and what pretended he wrote the whole song. So that's what happened. She told him to write the chorus, and that song went pretty viral. Okay, like in today's world would get viral, but it was one of the biggest hit of that writer, of the producers of Hollywood. So then she decided, like, this is my absolute favorite thing from this book. Like, I have a lot of favorite things from this book, but absolutely favorite part is I had no interest in being somebody else's muse. I'm not a muse, I'm the somebody. End of the fucking story. So this line literally, like, it hits me, like, it doesn't hit me in a personal way, but this is so powerful. Like, women throughout history had been, like, we don't even know so many things that women contributed in our history. In science, in any other field, we just don't know. Because most of the men, like, grabbed the opportunity from them, and even if they did something, we don't know that was done by a woman, because a lot of times men just, like, I'm not telling about today, I'm talking about the past. In the past, you have to say women were not at all, like, so it really is something, right? In the past, women were not allowed to study. Even if they did something, they had to do it under the name of their husband. Like, Marie Curie wasn't allowed to submit the Nobel Prize under her name, like nomination for the Nobel Prize under her name, if without her, like, if she did it alone. Then her husband and her, both of them submitted, and then the nominee got accepted for the Nobel Prize. So that's what history does to women, and that is just such a strong feeling I have about this line. I just love this line. So it's really feminist, and I think I am a feminist. Like, yeah. So yeah. Next we have this is about, like, there are two parts of this book. Okay, one is about Daisy and her like point of view, and then we have another of this band called the Six, and the story basically follows Daisy and the Six and how they rose to their fame in the 70s. And one day after a concert, the band and Daisy, the collaboration just ended and the band just ended. And the story is literally about it, like, it reads like a documentary. It's about why the band ended and all the internal conflicts that happened between them. So that was about the book. So first we get Daisy's point of view before she collaborated with the band. Then we have the Six's point of view before, when the Six was just starting out. And then we have Daisy and Six, and how everything went from good to finally the band literally ending in the 70s. So yeah, that is the whole point of the story. It is basically like a gossip guide, like, if you really like gossip. And yeah, but I think it's so much more than just a gossip guide, because it is entertaining, but it is so powerful in the same way. So let's get right into it. So let me tell you the story about Six. Okay, so they lived in a small town in America, and everything was well. They wanted to start a band, and the lead singer of this band was Billy. Billy met his wife, and they started dating and everything. His wife was Emilia, and they literally started writing songs, and then they used to get little gigs at different type of stores and everything. And so then, after like 2 to 3 albums, after he met his producer for the first time, that whole band went viral. And that producer also knew Daisy. So, like, let me just revisit the book for some time. Like, I literally forgot some parts, because I read this book in 2023, or maybe even I don't know, either 2022 or 2023. I read December of 2024. So I literally forgot a lot of things. I think I should give it a read, but I just want to talk about my favorite books for now. Okay, so yeah. So let me introduce you to the characters of the band. Okay, so we have Camila, we have Eddie. Camila is not the character, like a part of the band. She is Billy's wife, and she plays an important role in the story, as you will see later. So we have Camila, we have Karen, we have Graham, we have Warren. Okay, and Eddie. I think Eddie is. Let me just check. One of them, like Billy, has a younger brother in the yeah, in the band. So yeah, about that. But sometimes I think this book that I own is pirated. Maybe it's pirated. I don't know. Teddy. Teddy was like their producer, and yeah. And basically, this. Now let's cut to the tea, just to the chase. So Billy and Daisy, they started singing together, like as a duet. They started doing duets. Like, let me tell you the gist of the story first, then you can deep dive into the story, right? So Billy and Daisy, they start singing, but Billy is married. He has a wife, he has kids, everything else. So at the beginning, Billy used to write love songs for his wife, and then things turned into dark. Things turned darker in the next sentence. Like, okay, this is like this book. I will not say it's everyone's cup of tea, but it is really good. I will say, like, it was my cup of tea. I really liked it. I don't know what type of person it makes of me, but I really liked it. So yeah, this is not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like this book. So what happened was, like, Billy and Daisy, they had this connection. You know, the connection we talk about when we see in the movie. So they had this connection, and the connection was like really deep and everything else. But Billy really loved his wife. So, but like they didn't have any extramarital affair or something. But like, I think, and that was the reason the band ended. Because let me tell you the night when the band had this last show. Oh, this is like one of the favorite lines from. Let me tell you one of my favorite quotes from the book. Okay, so Daisy meanwhile got married and everything, but she also got divorced later. So the man that she married, he used to like act like he used to be such like, you know, he doesn't used to argue with her. He doesn't used to do anything bad with her. Like, let me tell you the quote. I really like the quote. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me find that one. I quoted this book, like annotated this book. Like, let me first tell you about this instance in the book where, like, Daisy and Billy, they were like performing, and let me tell you this. Okay, let me just read the para. Billy started playing and I caught his eye for just a moment before I started singing, and it just seems obvious, so painfully, embarrassingly obvious. Without Nikki there to distract me, without keeping myself so drugged up, I wasn't even mentally present. It just seems obvious that I loved him, that I was in love with him. And getting high and going to Thailand and marrying a parents wasn't going to make me stop. And him being married to somebody else, that wasn't going to stop it either. I think finally resigned myself to it in that moment. That's how sad it all was. And then I started singing. Like, and yeah, this is like my favorite. Billy's point of view. I love my wife. I was faithful to my wife for the minute I straightened up. Oh, also what happened was Billy, when he got into the fame and everything, he got all drunk and became an addict and drug addict or something like that. And then he went to rehab, and his wife was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to leave you if you don't become alright." And then he like got clean and everything else. So that's the point of view we're talking about. I love my wife. I was faithful to my wife from the very minute I straightened up. I tried desperately. Sorry. I tried desperately to never feel anything else for any other woman. But everything that made Daisy burn made me burn. Everything I loved about the world, Daisy loved about the world. Everything I struggled with, Daisy struggled with. We were halves. We were the same. In the way you were only the same with very few other people. In that way that you don't even know, even feel like, sorry. In that way that you don't even feel like you have to say your own thoughts because you know the other person is already thinking them. How could I be around Daisy Jones and not be mesmerized by her? Not fall in love with her? I couldn't. I just couldn't. But Camilla meant more. It's just the very deepest truth. My family meant more to me. Camilla meant more to me. And maybe for a little while Camilla wasn't the person I was more drawn to. Or maybe Camilla was the person I was most in love with. At that time, I don't know. You can't. Maybe she wasn't. But she was always the person I loved the most. She was always the person I would choose. It is Camilla. Always for me. Always. Passion is, it's fire. Fire is great, man. But we're made of water. Water is how we keep living. Water is what we need to survive. My family was my water. I picked water. I will pick water every time. And I wanted Daisy to find her water because I couldn't do it. Isn't this whole page heartbreaking, shattering, and mesmerizing and poetic at the same time? Like, that's why I love Taylor Jenkins Reid's writing. Like, I just love it. It's so disturbed, it's so unstable, and it's so heartbreaking, but I love it. I don't know why I love it, but I love it. So yeah, this is about mainly the story, and then the band breaks up and everything. But there is another short, side character story. It was like the drummer Karen and Billy's brother, they fall in love and Karen gets pregnant. But Karen wants to be a drummer. She doesn't want to have a family and everything. So because of that, they had to break up. Even though they knew they were the love of each other's life, they had to break up. This whole book is like situations and how your responsibilities dictate your life no matter what you feel at that moment. Like, that's what I think the main lesson you can learn from this book. Although this book is not meant for learning lessons, but I really like this book. So that was the gist of the book, and one of my favorite quotes from the book, I cannot find it now. Let me try to find it. Maybe here. Handsome men that tell you what you want to hear are almost always liars. I don't know how much true this is, but in this context, this fits right. Like, I don't want to degrade men by saying this, and I don't want to become a toxic feminist, but this line, in this context, is really true. I don't know about the real life, but in the context of the book, you have to understand the context of the book, okay? Before telling me to shut up or everything, you have to understand. I'm talking about the context of the book, not the context of real life. So yeah, and another really good one. Okay. So basically, Daisy was a groupie, you can say, and yeah. Acceptance is a powerful drug. And I should know because I have done them all. Like, I really think this line in this context is really different. And like Daisy married her husband because he was like all into her, and he just accepted everything else. But that's the truth. Like, Daisy, this book is so tragic and so sad, but it is so heartbreaking, but I still love it. I really don't know why I love it, but I really it's so messed up, and it just feels real, and it's like gossip, but I don't know, it's just so good. Okay, so I hope you give it a read, and I really spoiled the story for you. So you got the story. If you didn't get the story, comment down below. I will try to improve my next yapping session about my next favorite book, which is going to be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, and that is a book I think everyone should read. Like, this book is not everybody's cup of tea, but that book, every human being living on the earth should read that book. That is how much I like that book. So yeah, if you want, you can subscribe. If you don't want, don't subscribe. So yeah, if you like it, like. If you don't like it, don't like. So yeah, bye. See you next time in my next yapping session.